Uh, I remember it's Mother's Day. Remember?
It's okay, darling. I'm just lucky to have you here.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry.
Good evening, you're welcome. Tonight at 9. Questions for government as tent encampment along Grand Canal grows, with over 70 now pitched by asylum seekers.
The government was incredibly naive if they thought that putting a few barriers in around Mount Street was going to solve this problem. They need to come up with an action plan, and it needs to be implemented immediately.
Teenage girl dies after car she was a passenger in crashes in Wicklow. The teenage driver was arrested. Israel shuts Al Jazeera operations in Jerusalem as Cairo talks stall and hopes for Gaza ceasefire narrow. And in sport, Galway win a third successive Connacht football title. There are now more than 70 tents sheltering unaccommodated asylum seekers pitched along both sides of the Grand Canal in Dublin, days after over 100 tents were moved from around the International Protection Office just a few hundred metres away. An Taoiseach told the Dáil this week that such a situation would not be allowed to develop again.
Conor Kane, RG News, Cork.
Now let's get on the sport with Dave.
Great, thank you. Galway have secured a third successive Connacht football title. A late point was decisive in a narrow win over old rivals Mayo.
A 50th Connacht senior football title for Galway, few won in such dramatic circumstances. On a day where a goalkeeper was the hero, fittingly a double save from Colin Reap to deny Damien Comer was the highlight of an opening quarter that saw Galway and Mayo level at 3 points apiece. Mayo stepped up a gear, approaching half-time to open up a 2-point lead at the break, 7 points to 5. Whatever Pádraig Joyce said to his team during the interval certainly worked. 3 unanswered scores saw Galway take the lead for the first time in the 43rd minute with this Rob Finnerty point. Mayo responded with a period of dominance. 4 consecutive scores opened up a 3-point gap with 20 minutes left to play. But anything Mayo could do, so too could the tribesmen. 4 quick-fire points in 7 minutes saw the hosts regain the lead. In the 12th consecutive championship campaign that these two Western heavyweights squared off, it was Mayo who had Galway on the ropes. Kevin McStay's men held a 2-point lead with the match into additional time, but Galway weren't going down without a fight. A free each from Rob Finnerty and Shane Walsh levelled the match before goalkeeper Conor Gleeson etched his name into Galway folklore in the final minute of play.
The Nestor Cup is on the line. Conor Gleeson for Galway. It's on the way from Gleeson, and he scored it.
Galway lift the Nestor Cup for the third year in a row, and a scoreline of 16 points to Mayo's 15.
It means a lot to the players, just over the, more so because of the stick we've got over the last all years. It's been a troublesome year for us. One thing I always said about these players, I never ever questioned the character in them. Again, like Conor Gleeson gets probably so much unfair criticism in this county about kick-outs and whatnot, but absolutely man of steel there at the end, ice in the brain.
In the upcoming All-Ireland group stage, Galway will play Derry, Westmeath and the Ulster runners-up, while Mayo prepare for Roscommon, Cavan and the winner of the Leinster final. Shane Dawson, RTE News.
At Cusack Park, Kerry were crowned Munster football champions for the 11th time in 12 years. Jack O'Connor's side, though, had to overcome a determined Clare side before securing a 7-point win.
An Ennis Munster final with only one expected outcome, and Kerry are once again provincial champions. But Clare manager Mark Fitzgerald will have seen plenty of positives from his charges this afternoon, while there's perhaps plenty to ponder for Jack O'Connor. Joe O'Connor did come close to a perfect Kingdom start, but Clare were a match for their neighbours early on. It was 3 points all at the first half's midway point, and though Kerry would go on to open a 4-point lead by the interval, Clare never lost touch. Shane Murphy doing well to deny Dermot Coughlin. Kerry 11-7 in front at the break. Murphy was needed again to deny Brian McNamara just after the restart, but the save would spark a period of Kerry domination. Tom O'Sullivan O'Sullivan and Jason Foley amongst the scorers. They were 7 in front before Emmett McMahon stemmed their impetus. 9 points separated the sides as the game passed the hour mark, but then 8 minutes from time, Clare's Ika Maguire pounced for the day's only goal. Kerry finding themselves frustrated in their attempt to follow suit, before finally sealing victory on a 23 points to 113 final scoreline.
We're probably not clicking as up front, I suppose, as well as we were hoping we would, but we're a work in progress. But I think there's signs of improvement, but a bit more to go.
I think we tried to commit numbers forward and we tried to get scores on the board, and I think for large parts we did that, but look, we want to be playing at this level, and there's learnings there, but we just have to dust ourselves down now and get ready for Cork in 2 weeks here again.
Along with Cork, Clare will face Tyrone and the Ulster champions in the group stages. Monaghan, Meath and the Leinster runners-up await Kerry. Joe Stack, RTE News.
Dublin maintained a 100% record in the group stage of the Leinster Ladies Football Championship. The All-Ireland champions beat a shadow Meath side 5-13 to 8 points. The sides meet again in the Leinster final. Kerry had a 1-point win over Waterford in the group stage of the Munster Championship. 2 Irish teams secured Olympic qualification at the World Athletics Relays. Both teams compete again overnight in the finals in Barbados after setting new national records. The mixed 4x400 metres team of Killian Green, Rashida Adeleke, Thomas Barr and Charlene Maudsley won their heat. Adeleke, Maudsley, Sophie Becker and Phil Healy won their heat of the women's 4x400 metres.
Honestly, it was just trying to make sure I had my energy up. If anything, I was feeling a little sleepy after being up so early this morning. But honestly, knowing that we could all qualify for the Olympics, that gives you enough energy to go out there and do your best.
Liverpool were 4-2 winners over Tottenham in Jurgen Klopp's penultimate Anfield game as manager. His side led 2-0.
There was motivation there within us all to go out and put it right. We all know that the last couple of weeks we ain't been good enough, and that's just a fact really. And today was an opportunity to put it right at home, and the boys went out there and done a great job.
Chelsea had a 5-0 win at home to West Ham to move above Manchester United into 7th. Nicholas Jackson scored twice. And Ireland lost today's Singapore Sevens final to New Zealand. Gavin Mullen and Harry McNulty scored 1 try apiece for Ireland, but it wasn't enough. The All Blacks won by 17 points to 14. And Leinster will face French opposition in the final of the Investec Champions Cup. Toulouse beat Harlequins 38-26 in today's semi-final to reach the May 25th decider in London. Karen Wilson has a commanding lead in the World Snooker Championship final. He won the opening 7 frames against Jack Jones. The Welshman cut the deficit back to 4. Wilson now leads by 9 frames to 4. 18 is the number required to succeed Luca Bracel as world champion. Today's 1,000 guineas produced a surprise winner at Newmarket, the 18-1 outsider El Malka.
Down into the dip, Lemetuel trying to see it home for France. Ylang is coming out of the pack with a power pack challenge on the run to line. Porta Fortuna and El Malka as well. Lemetuel tying up near side El Malka. El Malka has got up to win the guineas for Sylvester de Sousa and Roger Varian.
And Ireland's qualification bid for the Women's T20 World Cup is over after a semi-final defeat in the qualifiers. Batting first, Ireland made 110 for 9 from 20 overs. In response, Scotland eased to their target to win by 8 wickets. And that is your sport for now.
Right. Thanks, Dave.